Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying free of coronavirus wherever you are, and that work is productive and that it's sunny. We've got this week's guest back on the show. It's Elissa Fink, the former CMO of Tableau, advisor to outreach among a number of other great companies, and a board member to a number of other great companies, and an incredible marketer. And we're going to ask her about category development. What is the mechanism, and how do we think about the number one lesson for thinking about category creation, category development? Now, before we do that, we want to thank our sponsor. Our sponsor is Outreach. Friday Fundamentals is brought to you by Outreach. Outreach triples the productivity of sales teams and empowers them to drive predictable and measurable revenue growth. By prioritizing the right activities and scaling customer engagement with intelligent automation, Outreach makes customer-facing teams more effective and improves visibility into what really drives results. Now, without further ado, Elissa, what's the number one thing to keep in mind when we're talking about category development?
Well, I think when you're talking about category development, it's something a lot of people think, I'm a new category. And I would say, don't think that way. Number one, there's a lot of problems out there that people are already trying to solve. So I always say, start with the mind, where the customer's mind position already is. They've already got a position in their mind of this problem. So start there. And that often means starting from an existing category, breaking it, trying to break into it and say, this category is this, and it needs to be changed, breaking into it, and then breaking that category and showing how that category doesn't solve that problem anymore as well as it should. And that what you're doing is way different, way better, and new. And so you're trying to break out of that category. So when I think about category development, I think of it as like, especially as a startup, you got to break into a category that has existing influencers, has existing budgets where people spend money, has existing customers. Break into it, start breaking it, showing what's wrong with that category definition, how the current solutions don't do what they're supposed to do, and then break out of that category, break out of it into new space. So when I think about category development, don't always go to a new category. Think about how you can take what exists, break in, break it, and then break out.
Any companies come to mind that you think did a particularly great job of this?
Well, I think I can't help it. I was there, so I think Tableau did a great job of like breaking into this idea of business intelligence. Then we broke it and said, hey, it isn't just about this big bloated system that only developers can use and pre-digested reports that nobody really wants. And then we broke out. We said, there's a better way. There's a new way to do this. So a lot of people give us the accolades of creating a new category. But in fact, what we did is we broke into a category, broke it, and then broke out of it.
What's the new category? What should we call it?
Business analytics. It's a business analytics as opposed to business. It sounds pretty similar, but old business intelligence was other people doing analytics for you, writing reports for you, and you would retrieve them pretty much. You had some control of your big bloated BI system, but very little. People were using 20% of the people aimed at using business intelligence were using it. Now that figure has elevated to 40-50%. So 40 to 50% of the people who could use analytics and data do use analytics, which is a huge expansion of the market. And I attribute that a lot to Tableau and some of our early competitors who were also in that space.
Fantastic. Elissa, first of all, just recapping for the folks out there, which Elissa just did, but break into an existing category, break it, and then break out of it. I love it.
You got it.
Folks are listening, just remind us, contact information if people want to reach out to you. What's your preferred method of communication?
Sure. You can always find me on LinkedIn, or I have an email address, elissa@elissafink.com.
Wonderful. If folks want to reach me, they can. It's linkedin.com/Sam F. Jacobs. And thanks again to our outreach, who triples the productivity of sales teams. We're grateful for their sponsorship. Elissa, thanks for being on the show, and we'll talk to everybody next time.
Thank you so much.